webinar for August 21st, 2019. Thank you for joining us this month. Our presenters today are Crystal Bowne and Heidi Simon from America Walks. Crystal's America Walks program coordinator is a public health practitioner, educator, and advocate for healthy environments for all people. Heidi, America's Walks Deputy Director, has worked in the nonprofit sector for many years, developing a communication strategy and maintaining external relations for a broad portfolio of clients. America Walks is a nonprofit, national organization that is leading the way in advancing safe, equitable, accessible, and enjoyable places to walk and move by giving people and communities the resources to effectively advocate for change. The title of their presentation today is Walkable America.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for joining us. And welcome to A Walkable America. I am Crystal Bowne, the Program Manager for America Walks, and I'm joined by my colleague, Heidi Simon, Deputy Director. Today we will discuss the importance of walkability and introduce you to America Walks and the work that we do. So first, why walkability? Whether we walk or move with assistive devices, we are all pedestrians. Humans evolved to walk, and we're good at it. We've been bipedal for at least 4 million years, but evidence is strong for 6 to 7 million. And we've had these wonderful bodies for around 2 million years, which we used to populate every continent, mostly by walking. So that's our deep history. More recently, just about 100 years ago, we started mass producing automobiles. And this fundamentally changed the way we began designing and regulating our public spaces and streets. And that in turn has affected how we walk and move. Simply put, we have planned and designed infrastructure to prioritize automobiles over all other users. We lack connected, protected bike lanes and sidewalks. We do not have enough well-spaced and timed crosswalks. Roads are built for speed, not mobility for all users. This is despite the fact that globally, four-wheeled vehicles, that is cars and trucks, account for 29% of mobility, motorcycles for 28%, and pedestrians for 23%. This has contributed to an imbalance in our transportation systems and resulted in unsafe conditions for the most vulnerable users. These types of environments have had many adverse effects, but here we'll just mention a couple. First, both nationally and internationally, pedestrian deaths are a growing epidemic. In the US, 16% of traffic fatalities are pedestrians, and that number is rising. In 2018, 6,227 pedestrians were killed. This was up from almost 6,000 in 2017, and it's the largest number since 1990. Seniors, people of color, and low-income individuals are at greatest risk, over twice as likely to be killed. The vast majority of these deaths occur in the evening and nighttime. If you're a pedestrian, you're 5 times more likely to be killed in a traffic collision than if you were a passenger in a vehicle. These environments are adversely affecting our health in other ways as well. For example, we're experiencing an obesity epidemic. According to the CDC, more than 1 in 3 adults and about 1 in 6 children and adolescents in the US are considered obese. And as we know, obesity is associated with certain comorbid conditions, including cardiovascular disease, stroke, and osteoarthritis, just to name a few. Poor diet and a lack of physical activity are risk factors for obesity. But many of our communities lack access to healthy food and places to walk, move, ride a bicycle, and so on. And as with pedestrian fatalities, lower income individuals and people of color are disproportionately affected. The Surgeon General's call to action promotes walking and walkability as a means to address obesity. Walking is an easy way to start and maintain an active lifestyle. It's inexpensive, it can be done year-round, and most people are able to walk or move with assistive devices. Walking has many purposes. People can walk to get someplace. to have fun, to socialize, to walk the dog, or to exercise. 50% of US adults walk during their leisure time, and 29% walk for transportation. Walking is a common form of physical activity. 62% of adults reported walking in the past week. Adults who walk are 3 times more likely to meet the aerobic guideline. Walking benefits communities. Improved walkability can make communities safer, support social cohesion, reduce air pollution, and it benefits local economies. Other benefits of walking include prevents chronic disease, prevents multiple types of cancer. Walking helps manage disease symptoms. It reduces or prevents depression, reduces social isolation, and again, it promotes economic vitality, not just for communities, but for individuals as well. Walking helps with osteoarthritis. It reduces stiffness and inflammation. It contributes to strong bones. It helps maintain a proper weight, which lessens stress on joints. 30 to 60 minutes of walking is recommended a day, but any amount is better than none. Walk with Ease is an arthritis foundation program that is evidence-based and has been shown to reduce the pain of arthritis. It's a 6-week program which can be self-directed or led by an instructor in a group setting. Factors that influence walkability include the presence or absence and quality of footpaths, sidewalks or other pedestrian rights-of-way, traffic and road conditions, land use patterns, building accessibility, and safety. Complete streets can help us safely be active and improve our quality of life. The image on the right is an image of a complete street. A complete street consists of sidewalks that connect to parks, public transportation, and schools, roads that include designated and protected bike lanes, and streets that accommodate all people. So we've given a brief background about why walkability is important, and now we'll shift gears and tell you a little bit about America Walks. America Walks is a national nonprofit that advances safe, equitable, accessible, and enjoyable places to walk and move by providing the resources for communities and advocates to be empowered to effectively advocate for change. Really, our goal is to empower and assist those community change agents on the ground who can create places where people are healthy and active and engaged and benefiting fully from the community and the environment they're a part of. So as I mentioned, America Walks is a national nonprofit organization, and we're dedicated to creating more walkable and livable places. And how we accomplish our mission and goals is by working with a diverse coalition of partners, by sharing our resources and toolkits, providing technical assistance, and acting as a national voice for the thousands of passionate local, state, and national advocates. We recently celebrated our 20-year anniversary and continue to expand our advocacy and what we mean when we talk about a walkable community. So in addition to walkability being a public health and a transportation issue, we now know it intersects with land use, the environment and climate change, the economy, gentrification and displacement, and so much more, which brings us to our vision. Our vision and our hope is that by 2030, streets and neighborhoods in all American communities are safe and attractive public places that encourage people of all ages, abilities, ethnicities, and incomes to walk and move for transportation, wellness, and fun. And we do want to emphasize the word fun because sometimes we overlook that, but we should remember that at the end of the day, walking should be enjoyable. So we have a pretty broad reach. We have a network of over 30,000 advocates across the US who engage with us in various ways, like attending our webinars and trainings and joining us on our social media campaigns like Twitter chats. And we work with over 700 local, state, and national organizations who provide resources on the ground. Examples of our work include our webinars and trainings, our national walking summits, excuse me, the Walking College, federal advocacy, community change grants, our state walking networks program, and our safe systems program. We'll highlight a few of these on the next few slides. We host a regular webinar series that focuses on issues that we're hearing about from the field. We have attendees from all 50 states, Canada, and even a few from some international locations. Some of the topics we cover include the physical activity guidelines, speed management, accessibility, engagement, equitable development, and access to healthy foods. You can tell that we take a broad definition of what walkability means and explore many topics that intersect with our work and the work of our network. Our most recent webinars are focusing on outreach strategies for transportation planning and health. Since 2013, America Walks has organized a national walking summit to provide a platform for walking advocates and champions to learn from each other and celebrate successes. In the past, the summit has been like a traditional conference. So we've had about 600 people taking part in a 2.5-day event, which is comprised of intensive trainings, breakout sessions, and the like. The first 2 summits were in Washington, D.C., and our last one was in 2017 in St. Paul, Minnesota. And when we started looking for locations for 2019, we started to rethink how things had been done in the past and imagine how things could be done for the next one. So this year, in recognition that the work to improve the conditions for walking takes place in local communities, we have reoriented the summit to find and lift up local solutions for national change. In September, we will be conducting our first localized National Walking Summit in Columbus, Ohio, which will focus on how Columbus has built places for people, including a big effort to expand active transportation. In March of 2020, we will conduct a National Walking Summit in St. Louis, Missouri, that will focus on connecting communities and overcoming barriers. Both of these events feature on-the-ground solutions that have made pedestrians safer, help communities become more engaged and committed to active transportation, and training more people in how to advocate for the future mobility systems that they want. Our Walking College is an interactive online educational program. It's also one of our signature programs, and it's created a network of skilled walking champions that know how to assess walkability, cultivate allies, and prioritize infrastructure improvements for better safety and accessibility. We have graduated over 100 fellows who are actively implementing walking action plans in their communities. Fellows come from professions such as public health, transportation, education, and advocacy. We award small catalytic community change grants to local groups and projects that promote more walking and increase community commitment to walkable places. We have received over 3,000 applications for these small awards that represent some of the most innovative and clever community ideas to make safe walking a priority. Just to mention a few, we have painted murals and repaired staircases, trained high school students on walking audits, partnered with YMCAs and Boys and Girls Clubs, and painted the first crosswalk walk in a small town in South Dakota. In 2018, we partnered with the University of North Carolina Highway Safety Research Center to design an online curriculum and training program for how to conduct safe systems analysis that included creating a diverse local coalition to push for proven pedestrian safety countermeasures and implement a few projects to demonstrate what is possible. We piloted the program with teams from 12 mid-sized cities from all across the country and have seen positive outcomes, including enhanced coordination and technical skills needed to implement more evidence-based safe systems approaches, increased cross-sector communication and collaboration, and the development of new partnerships. Well, in addition to our programs, we also have an online learning center, which houses a plethora of resources, including our Benefits of Walking fact sheets, technical resources related to topics such as safety, speed management, placemaking, and advocacy resources like building partnerships and funding. We invite you to get involved with the walking movement. Connect with us online on social media and sign up for our newsletter. Check out our resources, and of course, go for a walk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Crystal and Heidi. We have time for a couple of questions. Just a reminder, you can type any questions into the chat box. Also, in a few minutes, you will see a poll pop up on your screen with some survey questions. Please answer those before you leave the webinar. It looks like we have a question. Okay, can you provide more information on the upcoming National Walking Summit?
Sure. Crystal, do you want me to take that?
Sure, go ahead, Heidi. Thank you.
So as Crystal mentioned, our next walking summit will be held in Columbus, Ohio on September 24th. This will be a one-day event that will look at developing skills related to walking, walkable communities, as well as sharing some success stories from the field. We're bringing everyone together at the end of the day to take place in a collective action workshop that will explore ways of engaging with some of the policies and programs that Ohio has coming down the pipeline, as well as putting some of those skills that you've been working on throughout the day into practice. If you want to learn more, you can visit our website at www.walkingsummit.org. And I encourage everybody to register and to join us in Columbus, or to share the word with networks you might have in the area.
Okay, that sounds great. Another question we have is, how can I get more involved in advocacy efforts and the promotion of walkability?
I think Crystal touched on this great on her slide. Getting involved with America Walks is a fantastic first step. We might be a little bit biased, but it's always wonderful to have more voices added to our newsletter, our social media, and the like. And then start doing advocacy on the ground in your own community. You can attend city council meetings or town halls where you can be raising questions as to how transportation planning is done in your own community. You can do a walking audit to evaluate the accessibility and safety in your own town. And, we always say the first step is just getting out and taking a walk.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that. It looks like we don't have any more questions in our chat box. I would like to thank everyone. That concludes today's presentation. Please join the next month on September 18th when our presenter will be Benjamin J. Smith, Director of Diabetic Education at the Florida State University College of Medicine, School of Physician Assistant Practice, presenting Preparing Nurse Practitioners and Physician Assistants to Enhance the Arthritis Workforce. I thank you for joining, everyone. Have a great day.